Hello. Is it on now? Hello, my name is Erica Schertz, and I'm the director of this wonderful program. We've kept you all busy this week. We had our chamber music concert on Wednesday, which was wonderful, and our violin and cello choir concert yesterday in the Nelson Music Room, which was also wonderful. And to wrap up our concert week, we have our three orchestras: Intermediate String Orchestra, Concert String Orchestra, and the Youth Symphony. And we will also be honoring our seniors tonight because this is the last concert of the 2023-2024 season for the String School. So be sure to stick around for the end so we can wish them off and learn about where they're going. We have a group of amazing students and musicians going to do amazing things. Our theme for both the violin and cello choir concert and the orchestra concert is new music. So each of the groups are going to be playing a piece that was written more recently than we sometimes program in an effort to bring pieces that are composed mostly by living composers, and many of them in the last 10, 20 years. In your packet of We Killed a Few Trees Tonight, I'm sorry, you have a program, you have this yellow sheet of important dates for next year. So if you are hoping to audition for the next orchestra, then that audition date is on there, as well as the concert dates to put on your fridge, to put in your phone, and your family calendars to make sure you'll be available for those. As the summer's approaching, we have partnered with the Lamar Stringfield Music Camp, which takes place the first 2 weeks after the traditional school year for Durham Public Schools and Wake County Public Schools. And they still have spaces available for the honors program for violinists and violists. So those of you who may have been interested in that but thought the deadline has passed, go ahead and send them an email and let them know that you're interested because they have a few openings left. Some of the string school teachers will be teaching there, and I don't know if they have any counselor positions available, but email me if you're interested in being a counselor for it as well. I would like at the beginning, so that you don't forget, to thank 3 individuals and families who have made this year possible. Every Saturday they come and help in the orchestras, make sure that name tags are where they need to be, that students are in attendance. Let us know if anyone needs anything extra, more copies for music, and those are our parent volunteers in our orchestra. So Liz Shively for ISO, she might be backstage, but if she's here, can she stand up? Liz, thank you. Cassandra Anderson, if she's still here, her son is away, not performing tonight, but she's been here all afternoon helping. Is she still here, Cassandra? She's passing out programs. Thanks, Cassandra, she's in the back. She and her family are here every Saturday doing things. All of these folks are doing things that we don't even ask them to. They just see a need and they fill it. And last but not least, Sherry and Rob Bowers. Please raise your hand and wave. They give up their Saturdays, and without them, the string school would not be run half as smooth as with them. So thank you so much for all you do for us. Also, so I don't forget, Rick and Colin, who are in the back, they help make sure that we can use this wonderful space. And so let's give them a big round of applause. And last but not least, this is being live streamed and recorded. So the live stream link turns into a recording. And so you don't have to record the whole program. And the sound that is produced by these wonderful microphones right here is really better than your phone, I promise. And so if you need to snap a picture or capture a moment, I get it. But you don't need to record very much. And if anyone's phone is in your way, you have my permission to tap them on the shoulder and say, I can't see my kid. And Since it is being live streamed and it's my dad's birthday, I need all of your help to help me sing to him since I cannot be with him. He's in Seattle with my brother's family. So, can you play an A for me, Alma? I'm gonna embarrass him all the way across the country, and we're all gonna sing happy birthday. Can you do that with me? All right, ready? Happy birthday to you. His name is Randy Schertz. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Randy Schertz. Happy birthday to you. Thank you. Thank you. He's going to be very embarrassed, and that makes me happy. Okay, please help me welcome Matt Stutzman and the ISO Orchestra.
Perfect day for a concert. What was that, high of 80 today? It was nice, and it's so great to see where these kids come from. This are the last concerts, and it sounds so good. I was listening to the CSO rehearse, and they sounded better than they've ever sounded. The ISO is ready to perform a great show, and I could not be more excited to introduce to you the composer of our first piece. This year, what we're trying to do is do living composers for this last concert. And so the first piece that we have selected was written specifically for us by Lalitri. And I'm going to invite her over just to say a couple words about this piece.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you, Matt. My name is Lalitri Darniel. I have lived in Durham since 2003, I guess, since before any of these kids were born. I wrote this piece. It kind of came out of the melodic theme that you'll hear repeated throughout, and to me it sort of suggests a sense of motion and rotation, especially like if you think of like large spheres. So the great circle is like a circumference of a globe or of the earth. So maybe you might hear some of this feeling of rotation and motion that I hear in this piece. But that's basically it. Thank you so much for having me.
she walked in or not. Do we have Andrea? Is Andrea here, the composer of our second piece? I think she, famous people, they're busy. But I do need to talk just a little bit about this next piece, Love in My Heart. Both Lovely Tree and Andrea are both adult beginner string players who started 3 and 4 years ago. And they never really thought that maybe they'd be playing violin in orchestra, let alone composing pieces for an orchestra. And it's so exciting to both watch adults learn a new skill, but also to unlock something that maybe they didn't realize they had in them. Andrea wrote her first piece about 4 years ago, and it was just a folk song, and she really enjoyed it. She wrote a second, and a third, and a fourth. And then she told me something crazy. She said, Matt, I'm gonna write an opera. And I said, are you sure? Are you sure it's an opera? And she said, yeah, I did the research. I Googled it. Yes, I'm writing an opera. And what you're hearing tonight is actually a song from her opera. So she gave me the violin line, the melody, she wrote the lyrics, and then I arranged it for string orchestra. I did the second violoncello bass part. So it was a very nice collaboration between Andrea and myself. So I hope you enjoy Love in My Heart, and maybe one day we're gonna hear the full opera. Thank you. This next piece requires probably no introduction. Living composer, maybe you've heard of them, The Weeknd. They couldn't make it tonight, I'm sorry. I couldn't get them here. I need 20 seconds to make sure the technology piece of this is going to work correctly. And we're gonna finish with a really fun pop song.
music of Arlene di Cecco. Something must have been going on in the Renaissance that made music like that, you know. So Respighi obviously was not in the Renaissance period, but he loved to transcribe music from that period. That piece was actually originally written for lute by Simone Molinaro, and that was written in 1599, and then Respighi wrote it, or transcribed it, in 1935 for orchestra. Now, we actually had a soloist, an oboe player here, and an oboe player here, that we did not have with this group, so I gave it to our violins. So, thank you very much for enjoying that. The next piece we are going to do is along the lines of the living composers, and we are very lucky to have this gent in the audience. Craig on the Bayou Hanneman is sitting here in the audience. So if you would stand, that would be really great. Yeah, he is a violinist extraordinaire, also a composer of music. The inspiration for this piece, this is the first movement of a suite, the Coffee Suite. He was inspired while playing with his quintet in a coffee shop and thought, we should write some music about this. And he's actually in very good company. Bach, for instance, wrote a coffee cantata where he expounded upon the dangers of addiction to caffeine and coffee. Craig was telling me also that Beethoven was very particular about his coffee. He insisted that there were exactly 60 beans in every cup of coffee that he drank. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to try 60 beans tomorrow morning and see what that does for me. Anyway, so we're very lucky. Unfortunately, we only did the first movement of the suite, but come back next year, next season, I'm going to program the second movement, which is espresso, and the third movement, which is latte. So, yes, please enjoy the mocha movement of the Coffee Suite. last piece this evening, one of my favorite pieces, and it's in several, very many movies, actually. I love the tango style. It's just part of my cheesy kind of being, I suppose. But Carlos Gardel was a French-born Argentine. He spent most of his life in South America. And it was very influential in the music of Argentina and with furthering the tango. This piece, Por una cabeza, was actually, there are words to it that were written by a good friend of his. Can't remember his name at the moment, but Por una cabeza actually means by a head, so it's actually a horse racing. It's about the lyrics of the song are about horse racing and either winning or losing by a head in the horse races. Sadly, at the peak of his career, and actually very shortly, I believe, after the writing of this piece, both Gardel and the lyricist friend of his died in a plane crash in Colombia. And he is a folk hero in South America and definitely mourned on a regular basis. Anyway, I do hope you enjoy Por una cabeza.
provide some wonderful music that has stayed in the repertoire. His Afro-American Symphony, very important work, still performed widely. But he wrote lots of different kinds of pieces, including the one we're going to start the concert with. This piece began life as one of 7 piano pieces, which he called traceries. And they were written for his wife. And he said that, well, actually his sister indicated, though he didn't speak about this very much, indicated that these 7 pieces were to sort of get at 7 aspects of God. And this piece, this particular one of the 7, Out of Silence, makes use of really a number of styles that he himself composed in throughout his life. There's a small element of jazz in the piece, but also of traditional Western classic music, and almost a kind of mystical aspect to it. And it is written for strings and flute and piano. And we have 2 soloists with us today from the university, students that I've had the pleasure of working with. This is Cassie Cow. Cassie is our principal flutist in the Duke Symphony. Will be playing in the concert later. And this is Vicky Yang. Vicky was one of the winners of our concerto competition at the university a couple of years ago, and is a fine pianist. She's a junior and just played a very impressive recital. So I'm very happy to be able to share their talents with you in this very atmospheric, very interesting piece by William Grant Still. while the wind players join us for our next piece by Felix Mendelssohn. Actually, in many ways, this piece needs no introduction. It is so famous, so often played. I'm sure you know it. I'm sure you know young musicians who have worked on this piece. It's certainly not only a standard piece in the repertoire, but also a piece that is very much often given to violinists as part of their development and education on the violin. It just so happens that Mendelssohn, of course, a prodigy in his own right, he wrote several pieces, I think this is one included, that are just about perfect. You know, there are few composers that you can get to that level of kind of perfection, particularly in form and balance between soloist and orchestra. But he's certainly one of them, and he was very skilled. He wrote this for a friend of his, Fernand David, who played the violin, and he, of course, premiered it with Mendelssohn conducting it. But Mendelssohn did many amazing things when he was very young. His first pieces that really remain just are marvels of composition. His octet that he wrote when he was 16, just a brilliant piece. And then he wrote the perfect overture to A Midsummer Night's Dream of Shakespeare. And he just has that quality of writing this perfect music. So we're going to hear the first movement. Every year, the orchestra has a concerto competition, and that takes place in the fall. And students are selected to play on this concert and the one before. And you may remember our soloist from the previous concert with the Bruch violin concerto that we heard. And so this time we're going to have the privilege of hearing another winner of the competition, and we're going to invite Yasmin to come out now and join us for the Mendelssohn violin concerto. So here we come to the final piece of our season. It's been a lovely year. So many wonderful strides made by my young friends, and what a pleasure it's been to work with them and witness those strides. You know, a lot of people, of course, do lots of things for this, and I'm very much conscious of the fact that our two wonderful parent volunteers, this will be their final year with us, and they've been very important to me and taking care of all the matters of the orchestra, but also tending very lovingly to me personally, and I really appreciate that. I'm going to miss them terribly, and I don't know, where are Sherry and Rob Bowers? Are they here? Yes? Okay. Sherry, Rob, please. Wonderful. There are also several people who fill in for me when I cannot be here with the students, and I really appreciate all of their efforts. There are a number of them, and Peter Askin has probably come most often, and I'm so appreciative of his efforts. And of course, Ms. Schertz, Erica Schertz, who makes it very much possible for me to work with the students, and I'm very grateful for that. And so, you know, we also, of course, rely very much on the volunteers who are sitting in our wind, brass, and percussion sections. You know, yes. Many of them come from the Duke Symphony, the Duke Wind Symphony, the Duke Medical Orchestra. We sort of gather those that we can, and it is very much a testament to their generosity and their skill to come in and play with us in these last two concerts that we do during the year, and we're grateful. And we're particularly grateful to Carlos and Jocelyn, because they really organized this, and I'm sure they get tired of me asking, well, do we have this number of flutes or clarinets or whatever the case may be? But they've done a wonderful job. They do so much, and they do so much not only for this group, but also with our ensembles in the university. And Carlos, Jocelyn, thank you. Let's stand up, please, and thank you very much for all of that. Of course, I thank all of you for a lovely year. I know many of you, a number of you will be leaving us, but as you are seniors and you must go on, we'll talk more about that later, of course, but it's so gratifying for me to work with you and teach you and learn with you great music, and I thank you for that opportunity. We're going to play a piece now. This is the hardest piece I've ever given the students to play by Johannes Brahms. You might remember in the last concert we played a symphony by Joseph Haydn, his military symphony, his symphony number 100. So this piece, Brahms thought that this theme that he's using here was written by Haydn. It turns out that it wasn't. It's a kind of chorale tune called the Chorale St. Anthony. And yet the title is stuck, and it's perfectly fine. This piece started life, like William Grant Still's, as piano music. He wrote this set of variations on this tune for two pianos, and later decided it needed to be an orchestra piece. And so he orchestrated it very carefully. Everything Brahms did, he did very carefully. Here is a composer of great intellect and also great emotional expression. And you will find both of these qualities in these variations. You'll hear the theme first, as presented more or less how it actually existed, that Brahms saw the instrumentation in the winds. It was a piece for wind band, really. And then the variations proceed, often alternating between major and minor and fast and slower tempos and so forth, until he gets to the very end, the finale, and then he writes a set of variations within a set of variations. See, that's the kind of thing he liked. On a bass line, which you'll hear played over and over in various instruments, and then making variations on top of that. It's called a passacaglia. And so he sort of culminates his variations with another set of variations. So it's a pleasure to play for you and to be with you and to be with your young people. Thank you very much for a wonderful year, and thank you for being with us tonight at this final concert. I should mention that we have a very special guest triangle player. Very special, making her debut tonight.
before you leave, we're going to be quick and honor our amazing seniors. I know, thanks for bearing with us. It's an amazing night, but it's long. Seniors, go over to stage right. Audience left. Up, over. And then I need the conductors. I need Harry back. I need Matt, and I need Rob. Yes. So while they're getting in their places, I want to recognize the faculty of the string school, especially the conductors for tonight. Please give Matt Stutzman, Rob Rempher, and Harry Davidson a big round of applause. And I can't not recognize our other teachers. If you're here, there are 12 of us. Please stand up, raise your hand. Without you, we couldn't make this happen. Also, our staff assistant, Catherine Whitmore. All of you folks, faculty, staff of the string school, please stand up so we can recognize you. So seniors, where did Harry go? Did he run away? Harry, we need you out here. Oh, pass those up. There he is. Okay. We're going to go in alphabetical order in your programs. You can follow along with me in the newsletter and then read all of the wonderful things they say about their music education in here. First, Brian On, who's going to Northwestern. Come on down, get a small token from us. And then come stand right here. Come stand right here, and we're gonna fill the stage so your parents can take your picture of all of the seniors. Next, Harani Anantharanaman, who's going to UNC Chapel Hill and studying biochemistry. Next, Aria Carter, who is going to a university. Still undecided. Next, Alexine Anad, who is going to NC State. Next is Lexi Tiene, who's going to UNC Chapel Hill. And Abby Falk, who we will recognize even though she's unsure. She's not here tonight, though, or her sister, right? Is Zoe here? Oh, okay. They're wonderful twins who have been in the program for a long time. Zoe is going to UNC Chapel Hill to study neuroscience with a minor in Spanish. Next, Michael Fath, who's going to Elon University. James Kaufman, who's going to UNC Chapel Hill. Brerd Kuntkalmus, who is unsure. It's okay, we all take times to make important decisions. Yasmin Kwong, who is going to Duke. Yael Lee, who is going to Davidson College. Justin Lee, who's going to Rice University to study chemical engineering. Kaya Lee, who is either going to UNC Chapel Hill or Duke. And next we have Roberta Michaels, who is also still deciding what she's doing next year. Elodie Mitchell, who's going to Emory University to study engineering. don't trip over this. Peyton Palmer, who's going to NC State. Levi Putnam, who's going to Oberlin or Haverford College. Krishna Rajagopal, who is going to Harvard University. Maddie Ramont, who is going to Lawrence University. Gina Song, who's going to UNC Chapel Hill. Hannah Stocker, who's going to College of William and Mary to study chemistry and music. Antara Vivek, who's going to NC State to study biomedical engineering. And last but not least, Taylor Young, who's going to Pomona College in Southern California. Seniors, smile pretty so your parents can take a picture of you. Thank you. Please pick up any programs that might be on the ground and help us with cleanup. And we will see you in the fall. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of your weekend.